But I do thank you for ruining Jared's night tonight, sweetie.
She didn't ruin it.
Sorry, Jared.
No,
Just
she didn't ruin it. I'm happy.
Helping ease a lot of the tension between Lily and I.
First and foremost, I didn't have a glitch. I'm not part of the Matrix or any simulation, okay? I just literally, that was shivers. So, relax. I was very aware of what just happened. But with that being said, though, let's quickly go back into this one itself in particular. I want to know, is this what love is these days? That when you love somebody, you're going to throw them under the bus and then you're going to insult them in front of your brother? You're going to make them look less than, belittle them, disrespect them? Like, honestly, what's wrong with this guy? And then to further add,
Helping ease a lot of the tension between Lily and I. He's always been a peacemaker in my previous relationships, but I was not expecting throwing my brother into the fire.
I call BS on that. You was hoping, you was wanting your brother to get involved in your relationship. You need him because he gives you the validation that you desire, you know? It's almost as if you're a freaking Gemini. You know them ones right there, you know, when like just can't take any form of accountability, refuses to recognize where you are wrong in the situation, so therefore you need to have someone else come into the picture and to validate that your behavior is completely fine and you've done no wrongs whatsoever. Like, yo, does that behavior sound familiar to the star sign that I just said? Nonetheless, though, the matter of the fact is, the fact that he still needs his brother to be a part of all of his relationships just to get through them. Please don't call yourself a man. Only refer to yourself as a boy.
Ask about the finances, knowing he can't work. He's mentioned that you might have given him a little bit of, if Josh is poor or rich, what I care about is love. And he makes me feel unloved. Sometimes he even says some language that hurts me, so these are the problems. I have really paid a lot for him.
You know what the crazy thing is, right? Before we even proceed here, the brother's obviously mediating as he should not be. But in this part here, okay, he's reading what Lily had to say, all right? And there's a part, and I'll play it again.
I have really paid a lot for him, but he still thinks I don't love him. He doesn't want loved. Sometimes he even says some language that hurts me, so these are the problems.
You see that line there where the brother reads that statement, reads that part of where she says that he even has language that hurts me. Why? How comes the brother reads that out, but that part wasn't focused on? If your brother is talking to his woman in a way that is not appropriate, in a way that is disrespectful, that should be called out. It shouldn't be ignored. Because you see, instead of calling it out, well,
I really paid a lot for him, but he still thinks I don't love him. He doesn't want to know about how much you're paying for him because he feels bad that he can't contribute. Saying that I seem to have spent a lot of money on something for him, but rather I want to make him have this kind of gratitude. Find in Josh.
So here's the thing. This is why Josh likes his brother around, because his brother isn't going to hit he's not going to target the places that the root issues are. He's not going to talk about the places where there's the root issues or where there are other issues that also are just as important. The matter of the fact is, you are reading this woman telling you that your brother calls me mean things or says things to me that is unkind. The first thing you should have done is hold on a minute. Let me stop reading. What do you say to her? Do you think that that's okay? Are you going to do that moving forward? Do you need to apologize? That should have been boom. But instead of doing that, he proceeds to continue reading, and then now we're on to another topic. And now we're on to the topic of gratitude, of the fact that Lily just says, listen, the reason why I mention money is because I just want to make sure that he knows what I do for him, because I need to make sure I know he's appreciating it. And this is what the brother does instead. Honestly, his brother's just as bad as him, but let's get into it.
But rather, I want to make him have this kind of gratitude. Find in Josh of all that you do for him. Not to throw it in his face, but you want to know he's grateful. Almost like your love languages are switched. The men usually show their love by buying things. And then we think that the women, if they don't appreciate the things that we buy, we security.
So you say he flipped it. Don't get me wrong. I don't disagree with what he's saying. You know, generally speaking, that is exactly how it's going to, that's how it has been and how it is still for many people, right? Where the man is the one that's buying all this stuff and he has to make sure that the woman that he's doing these things for appreciates all of his efforts, 1000%. But in this conversation, in this context, was that needed? Some people may say yes, some people may say no. But I'm going to say it's as simple as this for me. The way they both go about communicating it is unhealthy. If all she wants is a little bit of gratitude to make sure that he's appreciating it, she needs to communicate that way. She needs to find a way to communicate in a healthy way, not in the way that's always involving her talking about the fact that she's always paying for everything. She has to always also do it in different ways, but also at the same time, should Josh be doing more to make sure that she knows that he appreciates her efforts? Yes, absolutely, because if he's calling her names, that's not healthy. That's not healthy in any kind of way, okay? And if he's then telling her that he doesn't believe that she loves him, knowing that she's going to have a way to make sure that he's fed, he's paid for, is absolutely crazy. So I don't blame her for feeling as if she needs more gratitude from him, because all he ever does is put her down. And that's something else that she wrote down in that little statement there that the brother freaking read out. But the brother didn't point that out neither. The fact that your brother Josh is always in a position where he feels it's necessary to tell Lily that she doesn't love him. And then Josh had the audacity to talk about, yeah, obviously, you know, I'm the sensitive one out of us. Da, 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 da. No, you're just a fool. Like, yo, let's play the rest.
The emotional stability, it just seems like the gender roles are a little bit switched.
Listen, whether the emotional side, the generals are switched or whatever, it doesn't solve the issue. Just because you are voicing these things now, or the fact that they're both switch the general side of whatever the society is supposed to be, doesn't tell him anything. It doesn't solve anything, because the matter of the fact is where is the solution. The solution is what needed to be spoken about, and no solution was spoken about. And this is where the solution should have begun. The first thing, like I said before, that should have been addressed should have been the fact that he will do whatever he can to put her down. At any time he's not happy, he will say things to her that are unkind. At any time he's not unhappy, he will say things that also involved him saying that she doesn't love him. Okay, but here's another thing with herself in particular. When it comes to communication, she's admitted that communication isn't exactly her strongest point, because English is not it. And I do believe that whenever she's trying to talk, but at the same time, despite her having a communication challenge, should she be sitting there every time talking about, oh, I spent this money and I spent this money and I spent this money? Hell to the no. She shouldn't be doing that, because the matter of the fact is this: if she feels that no matter how much money that she spends and no matter what she does to look after him is never going to be good enough for her to feel the love back or the gratitude back, then she needs to leave him. It's that freaking simple. And if he feels that she's always throwing it in his face, then he needs to leave as well. It's that simple. But the fact is, they both stay together, so therefore that communication needs to be strengthened, and it cannot be strengthened with the brother always getting involved, because the brother isn't there to help their relationship. The brother is there to give Josh the freaking validation that he needs to make himself feel good about the things that comes out of his freaking mouth and the actions that he takes that are probably incorrect. Bro doesn't help anything at all. Just enables Josh. Simple as that. That's going to be some of the worst media I've ever seen in my life. It was all literally to favor Josh. None of it was ever neutral in any kind of way. That's just the way I see it. Let me know your thoughts. We can talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.